and entertainment.
Radio Democracy 98.1. We believe in no political.
Well, Fambula, we saw you for that small HD. The report where Elizabeth Blado will continue now.
Salon na one country where don dey suffer from bad sickness like Ebola, Lassa fever, and other one dem. This don kill plenty people and self don among the country bad one. For give people education, for know how for tackle, then sick the year. Make the rhyme of the World Foundation UK don can give but over 200 epic communicable disease manual control book to the Ministry of Health and Sanitation. Subi Dembi, now one of the co-founder, now the rhyme of the World Foundation UK, say the 200 epic communicable disease manual control book where they don't go hand over to the Ministry of Health and Sanitation. Now we forget the sabi, but how for control epidemic like Ebola, Lassa fever, and other disease them anytime they come now the country.
We're donating 200 of the American Public Health Association's Control of Communicable Diseases Manual. Well, we started this initiative after the Ebola outbreak. We wanted to find a way that we could contribute to Sierra Leone's fight to rebuild after Ebola. And these manuals we felt were a great resource for field healthcare workers in Sierra Leone to have if they're confronted with patients with unusual symptoms, so they're able to mitigate the spread of outbreaks early, and they have another resource that they can.
Subi Debbie continue say this book gets 130 non-communicable disease and self people are able for know how for control and seek care.
This manual summarizes 130 known communicable diseases. It has their incubation period, symptoms, treatment, and diagnostics. So everything someone in the field would need in order to diagnose and initiate treatment for a patient. We wanted to find a way that we could contribute to Sierra Leone's fight to rebuild after Ebola. And these manuals we felt were a great resource for field healthcare workers in Sierra Leone to have if they're confronted with patients with unusual symptoms, so they're able to mitigate the spread of outbreaks early, and they have another resource that they can use.
Where it be the talk on behalf of the company doctor them, Dr. Mohamed Evandi say, then go make sure say then shape the epic manual control book them now all the different hospital them all over the country.
And we are sure that this textbook will be made available to all disease surveillance officers across the country, and not only disease surveillance officers. We have seen the lead on this has been provided by our colleague, and his team from the health security university. They have learned from the onset when we contact Dr. Delmi and Sylvia and so that they wish to give Sierra Leone and giving that to the form of textbook. He has been leading on this. He said, make sure that all, be it active or be it passive, we are engaged and we are all here to receive this wonderful gift. Let me say it's wonderful.
Inside in own talk, the US ambassador to Salon, Maria Briwa, say Salon be there among the 85 countries them now the world where be they suffer from epidemic. So this is now one way we go help for control them.
Since launching in February 2014, more than 85 countries have endorsed the agenda, including Sierra Leone. And through it, the United States government has committed to establishing a global capacity to address and respond to devastating diseases from animals, humans, and the environment. In today's super connected world, a disease can be transported from an isolated village to any major city in as little as 36 hours. Zoonosis, diseases that move between animals and people, and other health threats.
But how this epic communicable disease manual control book gets for help the health sector? Solomon Rogers, now the public relation officer, now the Ministry of Health and Sanitation, explain.
It is very key, especially at this point in time when we had a lot of outbreaks, Lassa fever. In the past we had Ebola, other epidemics. No? So with this manual, I believe if people actually go through it, it will help a lot. Given the fact that we have lack of reading culture in this part of the world, but with the initiative of this book manual, I think that one will ginger up people to start reading on public health issues. For the people of Sierra Leone to take advantage of this manual, and that the content of this manual should be imbibed and really put into practice, so that the issue of public health emergency will be thing of the past.
Solomon Rogers end up say the ministry go work with this epic book and make sure say they control and prevent epidemic and public health disease na the country. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Mina Elizabeth Blady reports.
The program Good Morning Salon they continue, and from that reporting now we dey come over to we studio guest them, and again inside the studio with we don't get Ahmed Nano, Executive Secretary from Salon Chamber of Agribusiness Development Slickard. We don't join we inside the program. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning to all listeners.
Okay, earlier we be introduced Chelsea Alma Hero, winner the CEO and founder Domestic Helpers Organization. And the Domestic Helpers Organization, one of the key focus now for advocate and educate domestic worker them on their right and responsibility. And this they don't do for 2 years now. How the organization don't they work? Chelsea Alma Hero, CEO and founder, Goka explain more to you. Once more, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning again, and thank you.
You can start with telling listener them about the organization.
Domestic Helpers Organization, we work with, sorry, the voice please. We work with deprived and marginalized people them for see how we empower them and restore dignity to them. And one of the main group we work with right now are domestic workers. And most of the time, people can ask, who are the domestic workers? Domestic workers are people that we don't live with, where we don't work with, within our society. But most of the time, we don't attach so many demeaning names to them. We don't call them we maid, we house boy, we house girl, and we nannies. And with the time we don't work with them, they see that name they as demeaning names, and so appreciate the name we get to the now we are domestic workers, because we also launch a campaign for letting no more be called the maids, houseboy or house girls, but domestic workers. And through intervention with them, we don't see say they appreciate this name so much. Then we cooks them, we cleaners them, then they work with we beginning a host, take care of elder people them. Domestic workers them you define them in a host, and also you define them in our offices. But most of the time, they work with the one within our offices, because they don't be protected according to the scheme of the office. But the sector where we work with now, the one where they work in us, where they don't be discriminated, they don't be marginalized, they don't be neglected, they don't be unpaid, underpaid, they don't go work without any contract, without getting any benefit. And the work where we work with them throughout intervention, we don't see so many changes. This short time, we don't get a project where we work with Osiwa, and also we cannot partner with ActionAid for implement activities with them. It's a big sector. There is a convention we relate to them. We're in the decent work for domestic workers. We're in the ILO convention number 183, where they talk about decent work for domestic workers. And I think one of the success stories they want for share this morning is that when we start up this idea, we meet stakeholders them and tell them about domestic workers and things that we relate to domestic workers. We also ILO gets so much passion about, and the people who we meet we now the one main relevant ministry now the Ministry of Labour.
Okay.
But by then we've been talk with the then minister we now be Adekunle King.
Okay, in terms of una work, you say the name una be try for changing, but then people are not thinking refer to themselves as houseboy and house girl. Now the one the way they work for, how una able get the one in the owner they work for, where then they work for let them say una not they refer to them people as houseboy or house girl. Una use a more civilized name way na domestic workers.
Well, I think the media are one of the greatest medium what we don't use for share that. And also I think one big thing what we don't ever do way that nobody happen at this relationship now for like bring domestic workers and employers together. But through a project we'll get with Osiwa, we get engagement dialogue with domestic workers on the laws and the policies, and through that we don't share that with them, that they not like this name, na a demeaning name, na a name where them frown at, anyway they're not shy away from the job, and we share to them that the domestic workers them or the domestic staff them now one name where they appreciate so much. And I think that's not the medium we don't use for share. And also the trainings also would get with domestic workers, because within the project we're supposed to train 200 domestic workers and the rights and the responsibilities.
Yeah, now I can do that training there.
Yeah, it's a year project where we get with
Okay.
Osiwa, just like I said, we don't work also with ActionAid, and through the medium then they would don't share with them. But also that go to the one big important thing where now the convention we relate to domestic workers, and just like I say, we've been talking with the then minister and share with so many other stakeholders them. And one thing I want to give glory to God, we are the first organization we come up with this. So if anything take place within the sector, I think we are the forefront people them. And by then we see say the then minister being send 11 conventions to Parliament, where Parliament will ratify. And one of the main conventions within those conventions, now the convention number 189, where they talk about decent work for domestic workers. So Salon don't be part of that signatory to the ILO body. They don't ratify them. Now they are working towards domesticating the convention. And one thing I want to share out is that
the thing about domestic work is about to change. They know they look them down, but a whole body and a whole sector outside of this country don't give them so much respect. 27 countries then don't ratify this convention, where one of we neighboring countries when Guinea been part of them, and we also thank God that Sierra Leone not be part of them. But domesticating the convention is not all about it. It's about ratifying the convention, not all about it. It's about domesticating the convention, bringing the articles of the convention into realities in the lives of the domestic workers there. It's a whole sector, and we get about 27 articles. It's a big thing, but we have to take on step by step for see how we go about them.
Okay, so like this now organization we already established.
Yeah.
So like how one them set of people like can be part of this organization?
Well, fellow, we reach out to them before we start. We've been do community engagement where we've been go out to them, that the communities there where they dwell, and also the communities there where they work. And through that we don't get over 1,000 domestic workers them where we been reach out so forget the data of them. And that I can tell you that just inside Freetown, Urban Western and area district, outside of Freetown will not be able to go because of limited funds, and also even within Freetown will not be able to do all houses them for reach out to them. We get so much more we don't they come and meet with through interventions there as they don't know about the organization. And from that we will see say 70% of them people there, so we are unpaid as the government minimum wage then that be 500,000. We get a whole bulk of them. We up to now they pay 150.
So looking at the issue of domestic workers, a lot is involved. Time of working, payment, how they treat them, and all. On advocacy can based on waiting exactly.
Well, we advocacy before we start off the project implementation, one of the first things we do now for do a manual where they talk about the rights of domestic workers, and we'll be seek a consultant. We work closely with the Ministry of Labour and look into the gazette, when the services gazette, for highlight all the rights of the domestic workers. We are in also towards the rights, they also get a responsibility with them for play, and we'll find out say the services gazette where they relate to them, where they talk more to the formal sector, relates directly also to them in the informal sector, and they tell we say them for be paid the minimum wage, then for go on leave, then for get contract, then for be paid housing, so many other benefits with the formal sector they get.
So this
be
manual
related to them.
where they talk about the right to domestic workers, it be reached to the employer them of the domestic worker also.
Well, just like I tell you, we don't use the medium when at the print and electronics media, and also we don't get sessions with employers them and domestic workers. We don't bring them come into a round table where we don't share the negative experiences then where both parties then don't experience and share to them about the laws and policies. And we find out say 95% of employers them they don't comply to this minimum wage. And if the government don't go then and ratify the convention, it's about time that employers then for be prepared for work with all the facilities and the benefits where domestic workers are supposed to get, because they clearly state inside the convention number 189 of so many benefits where domestic workers forget. We don't get them from employers say it's a bit challenging that they're not able to pay the minimum wage because of some economics problem. But if you are for employ a domestic worker and you also get a right, even though you get a responsibility, we then say self don't the lapse, they don't the steal, they don't the cheat, they don't the abuse the employers, so many things and they will then say they do to employers. But we know say through the intervention where we don't they work on things they about for change. But and that's why for share to employers, we know they can for create fear, but things they about for change for domestic workers. And before we go through we work, we find out say 4 things they will lapse within the sector. The one are the recognition for domestic workers, the other one are the formation of a union of domestic workers who do not be get, the other one that the policies them inside the gazette do not be complied to. And
okay, you will tap in a little bit. Chelsea Halma Hill, CEO and founder Domestic Helpers Organization. The program now Good Morning Salon, and we time from the studio clock now 8 o'clock, and we go for a short commercial break. We will take that break day later. As we know, any end of the year, the President, His Excellency Dr. Julius Madabio, can give speech to the public. Also, I can talk about different things them in terms of progress, challenges, and what in the country for expect for see in the next year, what do 2020. And he can also use this day for wish everybody a happy new year. Well, for this year, we can listen now to His Excellency Dr. Julius Madabio in speech for the year 2019.
Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. Today is the 1st of January 2020, the start of not only a new year, but the start of another decade. On this day, the President, His Excellency Brigadier Retired Julius Madabio, delivers his New Year message to the nation. Ladies and gentlemen, the President, His Excellency Brigadier Retired Julius Madabio.